And in this heat, we've got the rematch from 1B with the U17 and the U1. But we start with the U1, defending Tri-Cities champion, Oh Boy Oberto, and Steve David.
John Zimmerman in the U9, the visit tricities.com.
The U11, Stevenson Roofing, presents Peters and May with J.W. Myers.
U17, Miss Red Dot, won its heat last time around. Kip Brown in the cockpit.
And Kip Brown told me that he freight trained Steve David in the last race. So we'll see if he what he does this time. The U21, Miss Albert Lee with Brian Perkins.
And we'll be back with Heat 2A of the Air National Guard Unlimited Hydroplane Series. Stick around. We have boats on the race course, as we described in yesterday's heats. They have to check in by going across the start-finish line at least once during the warm-up period at full speed. Everybody has checked in, so now we're down to the score-up buoy. And you're watching some of these boats slow down because they have about a minute and 45 seconds before they can come to the exit buoy of that turn number 1, the Blue Bridge turn. Brian Perkins, you see the Miss Red Dot. Right beside him is John Zimmerman. They're just crossing the start-finish line in front of us with 2 minutes and 30 seconds right now. Steve David, you're watching him go very slowly. In fact, he's going ever so slowly. We're watching Steve David, and I think he's going to get the oars out next to slow down a little bit. Brian Perkins is leading the group, and it looks like he wants lane 1. And lane 2 might be the Oberto, then Kip Brown next to him, and John Zimmerman, as you see those guys just trolling down the front straightaway. And they've got a minute to kill and not very far to go. On the other hand, you've got J.W. Myers, who is coming lickety-split through the Grand Prix turn. And he's going to come up here with some speed, but he's going to be a little early too. Another 48 seconds. He took one turn through the infield, and he'll slide into, looks like he's moving over to the left a little bit. We'll see what lane he's going to try to grab. And he's going to slide in next to Steve David, and you can see he is going to be between Steve David and Kip Brown. Now, keep an eye on J-Dub, because he has just gone by, very close, gone by Brian Perkins in that green and white Miss Albert Lee, and looks like somebody may have put the fire out and may have to restart. That was Kip Brown, but he's got back up now. He's got his fire going again.
Looked like they're almost all parked down there for a second.
Yep. There is no off-plane rule as there has been in the past. We're down to 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We're looking at that yellow buoy on the exit, and I think everybody's going to be fine this time around. Brian Perkins on the inside. You're looking at Brian, and then you're looking at J.W. Myers in the Peters and May. And there's a boat buried in the rooster tail back there. Can't quite tell who it is, but everybody now up to speed as Kip Brown comes up the back stretch, and there's somebody with him as well. You've got 5 boats out on the race course here. Pretty much a full speed run around the race course to the top of the turn at the west end of our race course. J.W. Myers slows down a bit with 30 seconds to go right at the entrance pin of the west turn. He's going to be in lane number 1. He jumped, made the leapfrog around after they cleared the score-up buoy, so I can't tell. Matt, looks like Brian Perkins is going to try to slide in there, and nope, he's got to go through the rooster tail. He went through the wake of J.W. Myers to come into lane 2. John Zimmerman in lane 3, Kip Brown on the outside, and they're going to lead him down for, it's going to be close, 2, 1, 0. Looks like Kip Brown just nailed the start, and 2 boats side by side. Second across the line on the inside is Brian Perkins, John Zimmerman on the outside, and it's a good start. And Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto trailed the field, and he is way behind as Kip Brown brings him through turn number 1. You see Brian Perkins, who's just to his outside. On the inside is going to be J.W. Myers, but it's Kip Brown who brings the boat off the turn, and already Brian Perkins has fallen back to 3rd. 4th now, Steve David. He has pulled up ahead of John Zimmerman in the U9. Visit tricities.com. But halfway up the backstretch, it's your leader, Kip Brown in the U17, Miss Red Dot. About a rooster tail behind him is J.W. Myers in the Peters and May. But he's a full rooster tail now as Kip Brown kicks up that huge skid fin rooster tail off of the west turn 3 times around in our preliminary heats. We'll go 5 times around in the final. Kip Brown with now a commanding lead. Kip has really got his foot in it as he crosses at the end of lap number 1. It's a ways back now. to J.W. Myers, but not very far back to Brian Perkins and Steve David as they cross, and Steve David just about to overtake Brian Perkins for third place. Kip Brown already to the Blue Bridge turn, at the apex of the turn. Got 3 boats and a little bit of a traffic jam as they head to the turn, but they're entering the Blue Bridge turn as Kip Brown exits the Blue Bridge turn. And still in second place, it's J.W. Myers in the Miss Peters and May. Just comes off the turn. There's Kip Brown. You can't even see J.W. Myers in your picture.
And Steve David has now moved into second place.
Yep, he's in third place. He's in third place. J-Dub is in second. And we're watching Steve David kind of misty through the rooster tail. He and Brian Perkins are chasing down J.W. Myers, and Steve David going all out on the outside. Looking at your first place boat, Kip Brown and the U-17 Miss Red Dot already off the turn, heading down for the white flag to signify the end of lap number 2. Coming around the turn is J.W. Myers, and he has got Steve David right on his hip. You can see him right there on the outside. Steve David chasing him down. At the end of lap number 2, will Steve David overtake him? Not quite. About 5 boat lengths. About a third of a rooster tail. J.W. Myers on the inside. You can see Steve David now. The angle of the camera looks like he's closing in a little faster, but Steve David should be able to overtake him by the time. Oh, they're both flying the boats. Oh, way up out of the water, and Steve David running through some slop on the outside lane, but he's got the boat now ahead of J.W. Myers in second place. J-Dub in third, and Brian Perkins has fallen way back. John Zimmerman has passed him, but you're looking at your leader on his final of 3 times around for Heat 2A here of the 2001 Weston Columbia Cup. Race in back has started to stretch out as well. Kip Brown at the top of the west turn. In second place, it's Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto. He's just about to come to the entrance pin of turn number 2. In second place, Kip Brown looks up at the start-finish line judges stand. A big checkered flag flies for Kip Brown as he crosses right there. First place, Heat 2A. Here comes Steve David, still walking the boat, flying it pretty loose, but he comes down to take the checkered flag for second place for the Oh Boy Oberto, the U1 defending 3-time Columbia Cup champion. J.W. Myers coming across the line. He bounces the boat up just a little bit as he flew across the start-finish line. And it's a long ways back now to our 4th and 5th place boats. That would be John Zimmerman with the saltwater snorkel on the boat. You can see the air intake extended over the cowling. And Brian Perkins, and we can hear some compression stall with Brian as the boat goes by. He was slowing down, but the boat obviously not performing. Brian really was right up there in the mix, Paul, for the first lap or so, and then all of a sudden fell back. Still running at speed, but he got passed by pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, and I was a little early on the call on Steve David moving into second place, but he did on the next lap, and
you were predicting
put up 300 points. Yeah, that's my job now. Great run for Kip Brown in the U-17 Red Dot. That'll keep him atop the National High Points Championship ladder, and it'll make him 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, Kip has had some good draws. He's had some good luck, and I'm not sure exactly what happened with Steve David because he was way off at the start.
No, he was right in the right place, it looked like, on the score-up buoy with 60 seconds to go, but by the time they came around to the start-finish line, he was a good 5-6 seconds off the other boats going across the line.
Yep, so it looks like, at least the unofficial, and I maybe we should explain why it's unofficial. These boats, every one of them, no matter whether they win or they place 5th, and every one of them has a black box, has to go through tech because they have 2 parameters they can't exceed. One is fuel flow, and the one is the speed of the output shaft of that turbine engine. They are limited on that, and they've got a black box that gets read out in the tech truck, so we can give you the unofficial version. As they crossed on the water, we didn't hear about any penalties. The Miss Red Dot, the 17 boat, with Kip Brown in first place, Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto in second, the Miss Peters and May in J.W. Myers in third place, 4th place to John Zimmerman in the Miss Visit TriCities.com, and 5th place to Brian Perkins in the U-21 Miss Albert Lee. There you go, the unofficial results right in front of our very eyes.